Up-and-coming Florida rapper YNW Melly, also known as Jamell Demons, is now in jail, charged with murdering two men he called his friends. 21-year-old Anthony Williams on the left and 19-year-old Christopher Thomas Jr.
In the chronicles of October 2018, a sequence of events unfolded that would plunge YNW Melly and his companions into a realm of profound intrigue and sorrow. Situated within the precincts of a recording studio, their convivial sojourn appeared unmarred by foreboding, yet destiny held an unforeseen tragedy in store. Following their departure from the studio, the narrative took a dramatic turn. YNW Juvy and YNW Sakchaser were subjected to a fatal encounter with gunfire, resulting in their untimely demise. This grievous turn of events cast a shroud of shock and sorrow over those within their orbit. YNW Bortlen assumed the somber mantle of managing the aftermath, expeditiously transporting the lifeless bodies of his fallen friends to a nearby medical facility, attributing their demise to a drive-by shooting within Fort Lauderdale, Florida. However, as the currents of veracity inevitably surged, the lens of scrutiny was focused on their case. Law enforcement agencies, spurred by the gravity of the situation, levied the weighty charge of first-degree murder in relation to Sak and Juvy's passing against YNW Melly and his comrades. The ensuing narrative evolved into a legal labyrinth of intricate dimensions, demanding undivided attention. Now on February 13, 2019, the climactic moment arrived. The legal machinery swung into motion, resulting in their apprehension and subsequent arrest. In the backdrop of this unfolding legal saga, YNW Melly remained resolute in his protestations of innocence, vehemently professing his plea of not guilty. Thus was initiated an expedition of tumultuous proportions, marked by the relentless pursuit of justice and the quest to unveil the hidden truth behind the inconsistent story that Melly and Bortlen came up with. However, more and more evidence pointed to the possibility of a staged event.
Lauren, this Florida rapper YNW Melly, as well as another man, are being held here at the Broward County Jail this morning. They are each charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder, and they're also accused of, as you said, staging this crime scene to appear as though it was a drive-by shooting.
In the early hours of October 26, 2018, exactly at 4:35 a.m., a young rapper named Cortlen Henry, better known as YNW Bortlen, entered the quiet halls of Memorial Miramar's emergencies room, a hospital located at 1701 Southwest 172nd Avenue, would become the setting for a pivotal moment in his life story. Filled with urgency, he sought help not only for himself, but also for the 2 companions who had shared his fateful journey in the vehicle. The medical professionals sprung into action within the hospital's walls, their mission to attend to 2 individuals suspended in a profound silence, their bodies marked by the harsh scars of multiple gunshot wounds. The stage for this tragic scene was a 2018 Jeep Compass, displaying the Florida license plate IEKD22. Its metallic surface bore witness to a violent clash, the impact of bullets leaving behind a trail of destruction. As the narrative unfolds, one figure took front right passenger seat. Anthony Williams, known as YNW Sakchaser to the music world, bore the weight of grievous wounds, the cruel touch of bullets tracing patterns across his torso and head. Meanwhile, a somber air enveloped the bright rear passenger. Christopher Thomas Jr., recognized as YNW Juvy on stage. Bullets had left their indelible mark on his back and head, bearing witness to a devastating encounter. In the confines of the hospital, a sense of mourning settled in as doctors and nurses faced the reality that 2 lives, once brimming with ambitions, had reached their end. In the aftermath, attention turned to YNW Bortlen, the driver who held a central role in this unfolding tale. Scrutiny fixed its gaze upon him, seeking answers to the heart-wrenching question that hung heavy in the air. In the initial stages of the investigation, his words began to weave a delicate tapestry, recounting the sequence of events that had led to the tragic outcome. According to his account, the quartet had departed from a recording studio nestled within the heart of Fort Lauderdale. Their journey unfolded along the canvas of I-595, wheels spinning as they navigated the city streets. Their course led them to I-75, a path that ultimately directed them to Miramar Parkway, where their vehicle pointed westward. Though seemingly routine,
Lauderdale studio, which way did you take?
I took I-75, 595 to
75. Then you took 75.
Once they drove past Southwest 106th Avenue Dykes Road, a vehicle pulled next to them and started shooting. Bortlen, realizing the danger, lowered his body position to the floorboard in a protective posture to avoid being shot.
Tell you, if I'm ducking for my life, my head's over here, steering wheel's here. I'm trying to make sure I'm like, you know what I'm saying? But Like, I'm keeping the car straight by hitting median, you know what I'm saying? God, that shit fucked me up, bro.
Let me ask you this.
I look up and see them like how they looking.
He stood up, but his friends Juvy and Sakchaser were hurt. If we go back just 2 hours before these two lives were lost, a story was developing, ready for a turn that would echo through law enforcement and grieving families when the truth was revealed. On October 25th, 2018, YNW Juvy and YNW Sakchaser woke up without knowing their lives were about to end. Throughout the day, they went about their usual routine, not realizing the son's journey would mark the end of their own. However, destiny had other plans. As the day progressed, a plan formed, a meeting that would leave its mark as a tragic event. Their paths converged, forming a bond stronger than friendship. YNW Bortlen was at the core of their group, and leading them was Jamell Demons, also known as the hip-hop star YNW Melly. Unbeknownst to them, this gathering would cast a shadow over their future. YNW constitutes a collective of childhood companions who banded together in pursuit of a brighter future. Rooted in their shared history from early years, the quartet faced the harsh realities of their environment, but aspired to attain musical success as a means of transcending their circumstances. Their connection was robust, at least as it seemed to Juvy and Sakchaser. However, little did they know that their bond would soon undergo a severe test, a truth that would unravel just hours before their planned reunion. The evening of October 25th arrived, and the crew arranged to convene at the New Era recording studio, located at 805 Northeast 4th Avenue in Fort Lauderdale. Upon concluding their session in the pre-dawn hours of October 26th, they embarked on their journey, concealed by darkness. Surveillance records from the studio corroborated their presence, revealing the precise seating configuration as they entered the Jeep. YNW Bortlen occupied the driver's seat, YNW Melly in the left rear, YNW Sakchaser in the front right, and YNW Juvy in the right rear. Yet unbeknownst to Juvy and Sakchaser, a sinister element had taken root. Their lives hung in the balance, imperiled by an unexpected source. Here the narrative converges upon a pivotal juncture, the final moments of their existence poised on a precipice. Pursuing YNW Bortlen's account, as the group left the studio, a car approached and unleashed a barrage of gunfire, tragically claiming the lives of Juvy and Sak, while Cortlen and Melly emerged unscathed due to Melly's absence from the vehicle. Nevertheless, investigative revelations deviated markedly from Bortlen's narrative, painting a far more sinister tale. This is where the shattering of trust and bewildering confusion encapsulated Juvy and Sak as they drew their last breaths. Leveraging forensic technology, investigators reconstructed the scene of tragedy. Bortlen, Melly, Juvy, and Sak occupied the vehicle. An event transpired, whether stemming from an argument, a falling out, or the execution of a premeditated plan hatched by Bortlen and Melly. The trajectories of the bullets contradicted the drive-by account, indicating external gunfire rather than a moving vehicle. Moreover, the wounds that claimed Juvy and Sak's lives were close-range shots consistent with Melly's position. A narrative evolved from an external attack to an internal betrayal by their closest friends. Reconstructing the scene, all four occupants halted at a designated location. From the left rear seat, Melly under the unsuspecting lives of Juvy and Sakchaser. YNW Sakchaser and Anthony Williams suffered bullet wounds to his neck, angling from back to front, left to right, and upward, coupled with injuries to his right shoulder and chest. YNW Juvy bore gunshot wounds entering his left base, head, and back after sustaining an initial headshot and leading left, matching the group's seating arrangement upon leaving the studio. The trajectory analysis aligned. Autopsy findings confirmed wounds to both Juvy and Sak's heads, contradicting Bortlen's drive-by narrative and implicating YNW Melly as the one who ended his friends' lives. In the early pre-dawn hours of October 26, 2018, sometime between 3:30 a.m. and 4:30 a.m., a distressing scene unfolded. YNW Juvy and YNW Sakchaser were found lying lifeless in a pool of cold blood. The alleged perpetrators of this tragic event were none other than the individuals they considered friends and brothers. YNW Melly, the assistant to YNW Bortlen. Due to the numerous discrepancies in Bortlen's account and the evidence unearthed during the investigations and autopsies, both Melly and Bortlen were taken into custody. Bortlen was apprehended on February 12, 2019, facing 2 counts of first-degree murder. Simultaneously, an arrest warrant was issued for Melly, who subsequently surrendered on February 13, 2019, also charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. Both were accused of not only committing the crime, but also fabricating a crime scene to mislead investigators. While the facade they constructed was torn asunder, YNW Melly and Bortlen remained steadfast in their assertion that the incident was a drive-by shooting, vehemently denying their involvement in the allegations lodged against them. Melly took to social media to grieve his friend's passing and reaffirm his innocence to his followers. On his Instagram page, Melly left 2 heartfelt messages. First one wrote, "They took my brothers from me over jealousy. I know y'all watching over me. It's Sac and Juvy for life and after. They want to see me break down and stop, or in jail or a box, but mine still need me. They parents need me. A family need me till we meet again, my twins, my slimes." And the second post came after Melly made the decision to turn himself in. Following the orders from the arrest warrant, he said, "To all my fans and supporters, no, I did not get locked up in Washington, but I am turning myself in today. I want you guys to know I love you and appreciate every single one of y'all. A couple months ago, I lost my 2 brothers by violence, and now the system wants to find justice. Unfortunately, a lot of rumors and lies are being said, but no worries, God is with me and my brother YNW Bortlen, and we want y'all to remember, it's a YNW family. I love y'all, Sakchaser and Juvy, Brias." However, investigators were unwavering in their pursuit of justice, firmly believing that Melly was far from innocent and, in fact, the perpetrator of the horrific act. Their efforts extended to employing alternative methods to further dissect the events. Trajectory mapping played a crucial role in painting a more accurate picture of the incident, yet it raised questions about the absence of shattered glass from the vehicle's windows. To address this uncertainty, law enforcement enlisted the assistance of a canine unit. Using data from phone locations, they sought the truth by identifying what they'd seemed to be a genuine crime scene. There, 8 .40 caliber shell casings were discovered, mirroring the bullets found within Melly's plastic bag encased seat. In conjunction with these findings, investigators pinpointed the site where Melly and Bortlen purportedly drove the vehicle to stage the drive-by. The location yielded shards of glass corresponding to the Jeep, emanating from both the shattered front glass and back window. Capitalizing on the capabilities of the T-Mobile network, which compiles comprehensive data including movement patterns and stationarity, investigators assembled a comprehensive view of the situation. These included tracing the phone movements facilitated by Melly's network usage. The culmination of cell phone data provided a key piece to the puzzle. It dismantled Bortlen's initial narrative, revealing that he and Melly allegedly conspired even after their lives of their friends had been tragically cut short. Cell phone records placed both Bortlen and Melly near the area west of I-75 in Pembroke Pines at 4:25 a.m., solidifying the timeline of events. Between the preceding time frame and Cortlen's arrival at the hospital at 4:35 a.m., Melly was disembarked from the vehicle at 4:32 a.m. What proved especially pertinent to the case was the scrutiny of phone records, revealing that both Bortlen and Melly continued to drive with their deceased friends still in the vehicle. This detail lent credence to the notion that they utilized this period to align their accounts. Technological advances kept bending their story, and an additional critical piece of evidence emerged, thanks to surveillance footage from the studio and the hospital. While Bortlen was observed leaving his studio in a black t-shirt, he appeared at the hospital clad in a different garment, a black hoodie. The black hoodie underwent meticulous examination, revealing no incriminating traces. However, the black t-shirt concealed beneath the hoodie unveiled the story investigators saw. Upon analysis, a blood-stained pattern was discovered on both the shirt's front and back. Given the gravity of the allegations, prosecutors pursued the ultimate punishment for YNW Melly, as he stood accused of perpetrating 2 premeditated murders in a methodical and calculated manner, all for financial gain. The trial of YNW Melly's double murder case started almost 2 months ago. The process of selecting the jury for Demons' trial commenced on April 11, 2023, with the trial officially commencing on June 12, 2023. On the same day, June 12, 2023, both the prosecution and defense presented their opening statements. Prosecutor Christine Bradley, representing the state, began by asserting that Melly and Bortlen were responsible for the deaths of their acquaintances Sac and Juvy. She alleged that the pair attempted to stage the incident as a drive-by shooting. Bradley highlighted Melly's alleged confession to the killings through Instagram direct messages, where he responded to a question about the deaths with the words, "I did that."
This shooting. And Mr. Demons responds very succinctly, "I did that." Shh.
"I did that." Defense attorney David A. Howard countered Bradley's claims by asserting that there existed no motive for Demons to commit such heinous acts against his friends. Howard cast doubt on the strength of the state's case, characterizing it as being fraught with reasonable uncertainty. He shared his perspective on the murder investigation, emphasizing the lack of clarity in the state's explanation, suggesting that their response of, "I don't know," after 4 years of inquiry indicates a lack of concrete evidence. Concluding after nearly 20 days in Broward County, Florida, the trial featured closing arguments on Thursday. followed by the jury's deliberation. Although the jury informed the judge about their inability to make a decision a few days before the final decision, the judge instructed them to persist in deliberations. Following 3 days of deliberation, spanning 14 hours, a jury was still unable to reach a unanimous decision, even after receiving an Allen charge from the judge urging them to find common ground.
Further discussions, reviewing the evidence, and speaking freely amongst the jurors, we are still unable to reach a unanimous decision. So at this time, what I'm going to do is just declare mistrial, and indicate to you that
Consequently, Melly remained in custody awaiting retrial, scheduled for October. The commencement of the new trial proceedings has been set for October 2nd, 2023. Prosecutors are expected to retry the case with a fresh jury. According to the Associated Press, in an interview with Local 10, one of the jurors in the case disclosed the hung jury was a result of a 9-3 vote in favor of convicting Demons on 2 lesser charges of manslaughter. Initially, the vote stood to an 11-1 before being influenced by a juror characterized as explosive and manipulative, who directed homophobic slurs at another juror and swayed 2 others through her perspective. Upon retrial, YNW Melly will encounter an entirely distinct jury, comprising 12 individuals with their own unique characteristics and viewpoints. Each juror will engage in the evidence presented in a novel sequence and context, potentially leading to an altered outcome. Experts insist on underscoring that the mistrial should not be taken as a premonition of the retrial's results, as the composition of the jury can significantly impact the ultimate decision. A fresh trial will unfold featuring a new set of jurors, rendering it impossible to forecast the outcome based on the previous jury's impasse. The retrial provides an opportunity for both sides to refine their tactics and present their arguments anew before an entirely different panel of individuals. Anthony Williams, YNW Sakchaser, and Christopher Thomas Jr., YNW Juvy, met a heart-trending demise. Whether the jury aligns with Bortlen and Melly's version of events surrounding their deaths or the prosecutor's account, which narrates their murder at the hands of individuals they consider brothers. As time progresses, and as Melly's defense strategy unfolds, the ultimate truth regarding Kins and Bortlen's fate will come to light. Their names could either be vindicated, allowing them to regain their innocence, or they may find themselves imprisoned, cut off from the world behind the confines, prison walls.